I'll walk through a demonstration of live lift, how it gets set up. I'm actually in-gate a container, watch the process take place, and get the purpose and the benefits of it. So as we define live lift in the toss, it's going to be a move that in-gates and gets planned without any intervention directly to a rail car for the driver. So the driver will get instructions to go to a trackside location or a TTR and wait for the lift. So you can set it up to either have the driver wait for the crane to come lift him off, or instruct him to leave the container and chassis in a trackside position, and he can unhitch from it and go about his move. The major benefit here is that you're having the over-the-road driver do a UTR driver's work. So for the terminal, the benefit is not having to touch that box with a UTR at all. So if you imagine a large facility, it takes extra time for the over-the-road driver to find a parking spot. It takes extra time then for that box to be planned up. A UTR driver go and locate that box when an over-the-road driver probably did not park it where he says he parked it. So you have to go locate that container, UTR hitch to it, and drive it all the way to the crane. So it's a lot of extra labor, time, and all of that obviously turns into productivity and money for the terminals. And a lot of the legacy systems, they'll have a planner sitting at, watching containers in-gate. And as they catch a container that in-gates, that they have a space for on a rail car, they'll manually intervene, cancel the plan, replan that container to a rail car, and then the crane operator, the wide span cranes, will complete the move when he gets around to it. That's obviously very prone to missing containers, prone to errors, and manual intervention is not what we want to see here. So the benefits are very extensive for the terminal. There's no other way to do it in a traditional toss. It is a really simple improvement, but for especially high volume terminals, this is a big time saver. So the first thing you'll do is actually create a live lift allocation. We've added a quick button here at the top for live lift allocation. So I'm going to actually create one. So I'm going to send this to Chambersburg live lift. We'll add a color here. You'll have to add the auto plan rule set throughout the system, and different auto planning functions. You can have different rule sets. These are all just dependent on what the terminal is trying to do at the time. If you're just trying to load bottoms, tops, so we'll just select that one. Then you have your fail to live lift settings. If there is no matching rail car, if there's no matching transfer spot for the container, this is where you can decide what to do with it. You can send it to driver's assistance and allow the driver to be processed manually, and maybe clearing up a transfer spot, maybe adding additional rail cars or wells, or maybe adding IBCs into the bottom containers if you want to put it on top, and then reprocessing. Or you send it to ground or wheels, most common, to send it to the allocation it matches. Work areas will define which tracks you can add it to. If you just want to live lift to particular tracks, you can do it that way. Or you can add all of your different processing tracks as options. So we'll add a handful of those. And you now see the tracks are filled in. So if you were trying to set this up for just a particular day, you can specify the exact train ID that you're looking for. If I wanted to set this up to be a repeatable event, the asterisk, the wildcard, will do that for me. Destination rail block, native rail destination. So both of these don't have to be filled in. If you wanted to live lift an entire block or just a single destination, you can do those as well. For the route codes, the allocation properties here will allow for making sure that you're not sending container on a route across the network that the container is not able to go on. You can get into these as deep as you want or as generic as you want as far as size type, or you can allow any size type to go. If you leave it blank, it'll grab anything. If you add a value in there, it'll only look for that matching value. So we're going to leave this one as it is, grabbing any Chambersburg units going on the Q016 to Chambersburg 53 footers. So I've now got this allocation. You can see the majority of the other ones in here are disabled. Go ahead and move this to the top. If you have allocation, so this works just like any other allocations in iPro, where if you have more than one allocation that the container could match to, it's going to select the top allocation and work its way down the list. So priority here matters, especially if you have some more generic allocations here. So we've got our live lift allocation. The next thing we need is a matching rail car. So just like any other planning in the system, the destination, the rail visit, the block all need to match from the container to the rail car. And I'll grab this rail car on track 6 as an individual rail car. We'll edit it to today's Q016 to Q01627, destination rail block, Chambersburg, and railcar destination, Chambersburg. Turns red. It doesn't have to be this way, but when you're coloring things like the live lift allocation, making it the same color that's already been designated for that destination is a good idea. So now we have a live lift allocation. We've got a matching rail car. We can get a unit. So we're just going to drop. UPS driver is going to drop this off for us. What I had done just for test data is I had gone in and created a verbal waybill for this unit already, so everything shows up appropriately. And then it's going to ask for a chassis here. All right. So this validation warning won't stop me from doing anything. We'll submit this. And you can see that our unit, UMX-U981340, has been planned to the first well on that rail car. And you have an R segment, which will activate after the timer goes off, telling the driver to take it directly to that rail car as well on track 6. It's pretty simple as far as execution, but the benefits to the terminal, this is a big time saver.